Hello everybody, I'm Dr. Sahana Jeevi. I'm an ophthalmologist. Of late we have seen a few cases of what we call the black fungus, the mucormycosis in COVID-19 recovered patients, and this is a video to answer some of the questions that you might have. So mucormycosis is basically a fungal infection. See, COVID-19 virus is something new. It came into this world probably 2 years back. But mucor is a fungus which has been there forever. We have seen these cases earlier also. But why suddenly, you are hearing about it all of a sudden in all the news channels or in your social media? For a reason that, of course, the number of mucor cases which we are seeing of late has increased, and these are specifically now seen in cases of COVID-19 recovered patients who had severe disease. So let's just try to understand what mucormycosis is. See, basically it's a fungal infection, like I already told you. So this is a fungus which will kind of go into your airways, and normally if your immunity is good, you are a healthy person, it gets eliminated by the body. But in severe cases of COVID-19, obviously your immunity is low, and this is when the fungus enters through the nose, goes into the sinuses and starts replicating, creating devastating problems. So who are the people who are at risk of having this mucormycosis? Severe COVID-19 patients who were on oxygen therapy, so basically had an oxygen mask or were on mechanical ventilation. Those who are diabetic or who turned diabetic because of therapy during COVID-19, and those who were on steroids for severe disease. And also we have some immunomodulatory drugs like tocilizumab and itolizumab. So the patients who receive this, they are at a higher risk of having mucormycosis after they recover from COVID-19. So sinuses are basically gaps in the facial bones where this mucor goes and lodges. So since if we think of the different sinuses, it is connected to the nose, and then the maxillary sinus, it's very close to your eye and below to your jaw. So once the mucor enters and the patient's immunity is not that great and the sugars are high, it starts replicating very easily. Okay, within a matter of hours it can start replicating, and it is an aggressive disease. So what it does is it basically starts eating the tissue, and it can eat the bone also. So the spread is very fast, and since it is an aggressive disease, the treatment also has to be aggressive. So if you are someone who has had severe COVID, there are a few symptoms that you might want to look out for. Okay, so the first thing would be having a sinus headache, like the normal headache that we would have in a sinusitis, or a facial pain, or a nasal discharge or stuffiness, eye pain, blurry vision or a lid swelling, or even double vision. That is basically, see, when the mucor actually invades, it can reach the eye, and the eye structures, the nerves and the arteries go out of the eye to the brain through a very small bony defect. Okay, so when there is pressure on this part of the eye, what happens is the nerves are affected and the movement of the eye becomes restricted. So that is when a person can experience double vision. And because it can press on the arteries, it can also cause what we call a CRAO, a central retinal artery occlusion, and the person can have blurry vision or loss of vision. And it might also create what we call proptosis. Basically that eye is kind of protruding outside. Okay, so the other symptoms that you could possibly have is also nasal discharge, which can be blackish in color, and that side of the skin can also get discolored. It could look reddish to brown. And since the sinus is in very close association with the upper jaw, you could also have a dental pain or loosening of tooth. So these are the initial symptoms you need to look out for and report to your ophthalmologist, ENT surgeon very quickly, because these sinuses and the eye, they directly communicate with the brain, and if not treated at the right time, the mucor infection can actually spread to the brain and have devastating repercussions. So once you have these symptoms and you visit your doctor, they might want to do a few tests to make sure that the diagnosis is established. It might involve doing swabs and staining and an MRI, CT, or even a biopsy. So once the diagnosis is established, the treatment is extremely aggressive because I said it is an aggressive disease. So if the symptoms are very mild and the disease has not actually spread, antifungals are given. Okay, the antifungals need to be given for a long time, but it is quite effective. But supposing the disease has already spread, then surgery would be required to debride all the tissue that has already been invaded by the fungus. That is, everything that has been lost to the fungus needs to be taken out, otherwise it will spread rapidly. So that would mean a intervention by a ENT surgeon and an ophthalmologist, and if at all it has spread further, maybe a neurosurgeon. It is extremely important that you do not ignore these symptoms and go take medical advice as soon as you are aware that you might have even a single problem. So like I already told you that those people who had a severe disease are at a higher risk. What is it that you can do to make sure that you probably do not end up with this problem? See, the number of patients who have mucormycosis post recovery from a severe COVID disease might be minimal, but considering the extent of the damage it can actually do, it can it is extremely important that we are aware of it. So if you are someone who is already a diabetic or who became a diabetic because of treatment, please make sure that your sugars are under very good control. That's the only thing that you can do, right? So as a patient, when you're admitted in the hospital, now there are different protocols which the doctors and the paramedical staff would be already following to prevent the mucormycosis from happening, to decrease the exposure of the patient to a fungus like this. But that's what they will do at the hospital. But as a patient, the one and only thing that you need to do is make sure that your sugars are under control. So make sure you have a glucometer, check it regularly, and in any case, if your sugars are not coming under control, please take a physician's opinion to take care of it. And like I already said, yes, reach out as soon as you have even the mildest of symptoms. So hopefully this video was helpful to you. Of course, if you have any other questions, please reach out to me. I'll be happy to help. Thank you.